art, comedy, pop culture, and much more. You're listening to ACPN.
Hello, young Swimcast citizens. Space Ghost here, a.k.a. George Lowe, inviting you in for all of the creamy, enjoyable listening goodness. Let's ladle some up right now, shall we?
Welcome to a brand new edition of the Swimcast. This is John, your friendly neighborhood swim dude guy, whatever. This episode you're going to hear right now is recorded the weekend of SwimCon and Comic-Con at home. We had a lot of awesome friends that I'm about to introduce from when this was recorded on Twitch. As always, you can visit us on the web at both adultswimcentral.com as well as the ACPN's website, acpnet.net, for all your podcasting fun. You could also email us, podcasts@acpnet.net, and a bunch of other awesome stuff that you can find on acpnet.net. Without further ado, here is the first part of a 3-part edition of the Swimcast with friends. Enjoy. Welcome, one and all, to Clowntown, your one-stop shop for most things Adult Swim. You can call it a revival of sorts, but please stop calling it Adult Swim. This is Adult Swim Central on ACPN. Sponsored by Boylan's. It's a root beer, and it's other things too. We are covering everything tonight that happened this weekend at Adult Swim Con and Comic-Con at home with our own fan panel of sorts. Talking about some of your favorite Adult Swim shows and taking your questions in the chat there. Hi! I'm John J. I did stuff down here. I didn't practice this too well, and I should probably put my notes away. I'm John. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Brought to you by the Art Comedy Pop Culture Network's Twitch. We are glad to be a part of their brand of entertainment and hope that we can do that for you tonight, possibly in the future. We have a great lineup of panelists and guests tonight, so let's get introductions on the way. We have these awesome people here that we're going to chat with. I didn't write anything more than that. So we're winging it now. Oh, crap. I forgot to unmute. I'm sorry. I'm a little drunk. Everyone say hello.
There we go.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, hi. My bad.
Opa.
Can you hear us now, Twitch?
My bad. Technical difficulties, guys. But I did at some point introduce everyone. I don't remember everyone's names except that they are here and they're awesome. And
Yeah, I made a really shitty joke earlier, so it actually evens out. So works out.
You didn't even have to bring it up.
Well, I'm looking at the.
We have to talk about
I had to bring it up because I'm like looking at the Twitch chat and I'm like, they're like,
I know. I just looked out too. It's like, oh, no audio.
People are like, are they supposed to be talking?
Worst podcast ever.
I mean, I would hope you would expect that from the Swimcast after 13 years of us doing these.
Just us miming for a half hour.
The last Mimsy. Oh God. So yeah. So
next T3K.
So let me go through quickly again. So Rilo, Duck Savage, Beastman, and Vaudevillain from Helper Podcast Network. We got Travis and Brandon, I don't know which one's which, from Interdimensional RSS podcast. And we got
never tell.
Jason from Swimcast, and Trish is eventually going to make her way in here at some point for like 5 seconds to say hello. And our guest, I guess because he doesn't really have a Adult Swim podcast, but also Jason, but also Chevron and mainly Chops from a show called Pop Culture Anonymous, which also airs on the ACP network, starring Matt Neslanik, I believe, and some other schlub.
Yeah, it's that John Galbo guy. Ugh.
Oh, yeah, I hate that guy. I hate him every day. Every time I look in the fucking mirror, I'm like, I hate you. I hate you.
You're the worst.
But you're sexy.
Wait, me or you? What?
No, never mind.
Okay.
So we are all here to entertain your ear holes and hopefully your eye holes, and hopefully you're hearing us better than you were before. We're here to talk about everything that went on with Adult Swim Con, everything that went on with Comic-Con at home, or most of stuff as far as Adult Swim and Cartoon Network and swim adjacent stuff and all things in between, and maybe rant and rave on certain topics that we may or may not have agreed with, Rick and Morty being the showdown winner.
You're just gonna save it for the
It was rigged.
So
Hey, we're not arguing over here.
but we'll get into that later on. What I did want to start off with is panels, because we've all seen the panels. I lost my document. This is what happens. I'm scatterbrained and I lost my document about the panel stuff. So I'm going to move this over here, and then I'm going to look at panels here. So the first panel we wanted to talk about tonight was the YOLO Crystal Fantasy panel. For those who don't know, YOLO Crystal Fantasy is a new show by Michael Cusack, the guy who did Bushworld Adventures. If you recall that April Fool's joke from, what was it, last year or the year before?
2018.
God, where does time go?
Wow, really? That longer?
No.
So, Yellow Crystal Fantasy aired April Fool's, and the episode is amazing. And I feel like Trish should be here by now, but she's just dragging her feet, so she can come in and talk about it later. I'm just going to go around the horn. Swimcast Jason, what did you think of the show?
I think it's great. I was hoping that they would do something with Michael Cusack after Bushworld, because that was fantastic too. And I got a chance to watch it April 2nd, because I went to bed instead of watching the full April thing. But it's great. It's everything I would have wanted out of something like that. It's hilarious. I can't wait for it to air.
Nice.
Pretty much it.
Did you got to watch the panel?
Yeah, I listened through the majority of it. I dig what they're doing with the music and stuff like that. That was a fun part of the panel.
I love the music. I also was really fascinated by how they set up the actual panel. Like, the moderator was in green screen, and then everyone else was like in different scenes.
Just like put them in the windows of the house, or put them in the trees in one of the backgrounds and stuff like that. I thought that was really clever.
Exactly.
I also like the moderator's DIY Comic-Con podium that he had going on.
Yes, absolutely.
Little Sharpie podium.
Yes, that was clever. I probably would have done that myself if I had some time, like just put up a Comic-Con podium, because I'm probably never going to moderate a panel at San Diego Comic-Con.
Not with that attitude.
Not with any attitude. Oh, perfect timing. I should introduce to you at home and our panel here, my Swimcast co-host. She is the rock that holds me together sometimes. The muse, the legendary Trish Henson.
Oh my God! Hey everybody!
You're on live on Twitch. How you doing, Trish?
I just had some mediocre pod Thai, but the Thai iced tea is really good. I also watched the Rick and Morty panel, and then we watched YOLO Crystal Fantasy, and oh my god.
We were just in the middle of discussing YOLO Crystal Fantasy. How did you like that?
I like it so much, I think they need to premiere it, like, now, instead of 2 weeks from now. I can't live without it now. It's so good.
It's just
my new Aqua Teen.
It's new Aqua Teen?
Might be my new Aqua Teen.
Oh.
I mean, Aqua Teen is number one for me, unlike all those, like, idiots who are like, Rick and Morty's better. Well, Rick and Morty is more real.
Shots fired.
I'm sorry,
Hey,
but you're stupid.
can we get the caveat out early that we're not offended? So just
we're not offended by anything that 12 ounce. I don't get 12-ounce mouse. Oh, Aqua Teen sucks. Oh, what was the other one?
Oh wait, we're talking about Aqua Teen on this. Oh no, never mind.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Well, that for those who don't know, that's where we started, was Aqua Teen Central, and then we tried to do a podcast, and it was like, we're talking too much about Adult Swim in general, so it's like, do Adult Swim, and no one else was out there at the time. This was 2007 when we started, and just rolled and rolled and rolled on until we said we still do them from time to time, and between adulting and not really watching as much Adult Swim as we used to, it's kind of like we'll do one like every couple of months or so.
Why is it gotta be on so late? Oh.
That's why I think, for me at least, I am appreciative of y'all transferring the mantle of Adult Swim podcasts into Rick and Morty podcasts, Venture Brothers podcasts. I know there's a couple other Adult Swim after like 11, 12 years decided, hey, we're going to put a podcast on. It's like, we found value in podcasts thanks to John, but we're not going to give him credit.
You guys heard about this new thing called podcasts?
I'm kidding. I love, much love to Matt Harrigan and the people.
Didn't Joe Rogan invent podcasting?
I thought Chris Hardwick invented podcasting before he got me
Conan O'Brien.
Well, I mean, as long as we agree that Al Gore invented the internet, like...
Yes.
He did.
Of
course.
Yes.
He invented it to find Man Bear Pig.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I appreciated most about the YOLO panel was the two creators kind of sitting there talking about how the idea of talking about their creation in any remotely professional sense was so wildly disconcerting. Like, 'cause
right.
These are jokes playing around with for years, and like the idea that people are asking them serious questions about this fantasy world that they've been playing around with since they were in high school was mind-blowing to them.
Right. It's like they're coming at it from like, we just like to do this for fun, and now we're talking about this as like, this is our normal job.
Yeah.
Make money doing this.
Like, Adventures in Bushworld changed my life.
I think it changed most people's lives, to be honest.
I mean,
get
in the wombat, old Morty.
Get in the car, Morty!
You're gonna die today, Morty.
It was the first time I had to look up what a ute was.
Oh my god. So here's the thing with me and utes. I saw, oh my god, it's a Chevy. What is it? What is it called? It's a Chevy. It's like a Ford Ranchero, except El Camino. So I saw El Camino when I first moved to California, and I thought it was the just most amazing thing ever, like a car that's also a truck. And Adam's like, oh yeah, they have utes everywhere in Australia. And I was like, we got to fucking move to Australia. So when I saw Ute Uncle Barry, it was like my heart was like, it became whole. It became 3 sizes larger than it had been.
I'm Ute Uncle Barry.
I love Ute Uncle Barry. When you killed me, my soul went into family Ute.
when I saw the title for that, Adventures in, what was it, Bush World, having seen YOLO Girls previously, that was not where I thought that title was going.
Oh. Wait, there's other...
There's the original YOLO Girls sketch. Have you seen it?
No.
Man, okay. Just take a few moments and gird yourself once we get done here, because you are not expecting what is coming your way. And I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't say much other than to say Korn makes an appearance.
Holy shit, really?
The band?
No, not the band, and it's the worst possible iteration of Korn you can think of.
Huh.
Oh, no.
I'll just...
Why did my mind go there first?
I spent some time in Korea, and there was like a corn burger that I had one time. Was it anything like that?
Well, there's that episode
on
of
the
Harvey
backside.
Birdman. Well, there's that episode of Harvey Birdman where they genetically alter corn too much, and then they get that springy thing from the Jetsons.
Oh, God.
I don't remember that one. I love corn. Actually, my 31st surprise birthday party was late because I had to eat corn. Like, I was so depressed. I was like, I'm not having a surprise party this year. Because I told my husband in January, I was like, I'm turning 30. You're going to throw me a surprise party. And he's like, how is that possible? And I'm like, I don't know. You're going to pull it off. So, it's the day after my birthday or something, and I'm like so depressed. I'm like, God, none of my friends can do the surprise party. They're all busy. And so we went home, and I went and showered, and then my dad made corn on the stove in a pot, not just on the stove, but
I just like to throw a bushel of corn on top of something really hot. Let's see what happens.
Honestly, I just keep thinking of the Aqua Teen episode. Corn!
Oh,
more corn!
Hot dolphin!
So, like, last night, Adam grilled corn, and you grill it in the husks, and I'm, like, trying to rip off these, like, hot-ass husks of the corn. And he's like, more corn! And I yelled, it's not different at all, is it, Steve? And, you know, it's a very common catchphrase in the Henson household.
Oh gosh. So going, not to go off on more of a tangent, but going back to what we were talking about, the YOLO stuff. I'll put that back up on the screen. So, anyone else have thoughts about YOLO?
It was just the best thing I've ever seen.
What the thing I really can't get out of my head.
She me as a lady who's seen some shit.
Oh, Trish, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've gone on adventures on Swimcast a lot.
Mostly my fault.
Yeah. But the thing that got me was the beach song.
Yeah, that was good.
Did you watch the panel?
No, we watched the episode.
You need to watch the panel because there's a song about going to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to
I
the
also
beach.
love that it was a bit of a visual trick, because you see the two creators and one of them sitting there and he's kind of up against a stained glass window, and the other guy's got like a whiteboard behind him, and then eventually they bounce over to a third camera. You realize they're only 10 feet apart.
Yeah, I love that. Like, they look like they were in different places, and then you see like they're in and they were in a church.
I was gonna say that's why they're being in the church. Yeah,
that's where they're hunkered down for the quarantine.
And they weren't struck dead. I mean, after Adventures in Bush World, I was like, is nothing sacred?
Man, I'm telling you, I cannot wait for you to see the original YOLO Girls. Oh,
okay, what is it called? Because I'm looking it up on YouTube.
Just
look up YOLO.
I was gonna say look up Michael Cusack.
Yeah,
and just go to videos, and you'll see parts 1 and 2.
It's on Newgrounds too.
How do you spell it? C-U-S-A-C?
I guess.
Okay.
With the K.
I don't know.
Like Joan or John?
Yeah, like Michael Cusack.
Okay,
Like
I think I found it.
One of the Cusack siblings.
I'm lucky I could push buttons at this point because I had a shot of rum a little while ago. Did I mention?
Oh,
Did I
wanted
mention?
to ask Adam to make me a dirty martini, and now he's gone somewhere.
Oh.
Let me text him.
Sure, it's really dirty.
Anyway, any
I was
other
with a lot of olive juice.
any other parting thoughts on YOLO before we move on?
I want to see more.
It's gonna be fun.
You will.
They should pick up Smiling Friends too.
Yes, I watched Smiling Friends last night, and that is just as nuts as YOLO.
Yeah, Cusack worked on that also. He's like a co-creator, and
I hope there's more.
If people haven't seen it, please check that out. It's one of my favorite pilots they've done in a long time.
I do.
Which one is that?
Smiling Friends.
Smiling Friends. Yeah.
Is that the one with the two guys who are like kind of like Beavis and Butthead-ish?
No.
No. They go in. They go to house to house to help people.
Oh.
It's by Cusack and
I forget the other guy's name.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Is it Zach Hadel? I think
Yes.
Psychic Pebbles.
Yes.
I'm thinking of Damo and Darren.
Yeah.
That's another Cusack one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That one's good too.
He's like their new version of Tim and Eric, basically. He's like
Man, Adam's taking a walk. I don't know when I'm gonna get my. I wonder how I can make one.
Anyway, any other parting thoughts about YOLO before we move on? Nope. Okay.
Hey, those Bushworld Adventures guys, Cusack, who, by the way, Matt Cusack, I kept thinking Matt Chapman, but he's Homestar Runner. Those guys are fucking fantastic in anything that they have, and I watched just a little bit of the YOLO stuff. It's just that animation and that humor, it tickles a bone. I won't say which one, but it is a bone.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It really does. And like I said, it's like they're the new find in Adult Swim. Like
Okay, everybody.
What Tim and
We're
Eric...
gonna make a martini.
Okay, go make a martini, Trish. I'm gonna move on to 12
I'll
ounce
be right
mouse,
back.
which I feel like, I mean, Jason and myself aside, does anyone else have any thoughts about 12 ounce mouse?
One of the things that I thought was most interesting about the 12-ounce mouse panel was the stuff I never picked up about what he was trying to do with it, because he's essentially got this image in his mind about the Bildungsroman, if you will, the extended journey, the character development, which is nothing that you would expect when you look at a show like 12-ounce mouse.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing there is so, and I mentioned this before we started. First and foremost, there's this whole interspersed plot where you're first watching 12 ounce mouse, and the first instinct is the general consensus of, I don't get 12 ounce mouse. It's badly drawn and it's all crazy stuff and it's all over the place and I don't get it. And like, Trish and I know the guy who created most of the designs, Todd Redner from formerly Radical Access. Now he works for the Archer team, I believe. And like, even he said, it looks simplistic, some of the designs, but it's really more complicated than it looks. And and the other half of it is there is that interspersed plot because I believe it was one of the PAs, Tom Foolery, who used to work for Swim, had mentioned once, like, this show is kind of along the lines of like a Twin Peaks, where it's like you don't get it at first, but there's such an elaborate plot that,
don't get it.
and you still try and figure out like the intricacies. I guess I'm slurring my words at this point, but whatever.
You do sort of start to pick up that there's something happening there towards the end of the first season, I would say.
Right, and that's exactly what I said earlier. I'm like, by the second season, you're like, and that's, I think, when the corndogcentral.com people started sprouting up when we ran that site. Spoiler, it is coming back.
See, that's why I think it's a shame that they never made the DVD version of the series more accessible, because if you own the DVD of the original series, it's all spliced into one long movie.
Right.
And I think that that's like the best way to watch through 12-ounce mouse, because you actually get to pick up on what's going on, and you just ride through the whole thing. You have to change discs, but whatever.
Yeah.
Because like if you buy it digitally, it's cut into the episodes that it was on TV. I think if you have a chance or have the ability to watch it as the movie that was on the DVD, I think that's the best way to watch it.
Right.
You know what's scary about this part of the conversation is Beast Lamode is a Twin Peaks devotee. And now I am deeply afraid that he is going to get into 12-ounce mouse now, and that I will start hearing of his crazy theories about how this all ties together with Tibetan Thulpas and Jack Parsons.
It very well could.
You can't say trigger words like that. Like, it's actually one of the running jokes on our podcast that like I actually probably spend more time promoting Twin Peaks than Venture Brothers. Basically, the premise is Savage and Vaudevillain talk about Venture Brothers, and I try really hard to get them to not.
Nail on the head on that one.
Oh God!
So no, you said Twin Peaks, and I'm sitting over here like a can of soda that's been rolling around in your car for a week. Like,
I'm just thrilled you still got your shirt on.
I should mention shirts are optional tonight, so I mean, and pants, of course, if you're not going to stand up. But what I was alluding to earlier, there has been so much time between when season 2 ended / was canceled by Michael Lazalo, as I call him, that I think Malero had a lot to think about, and I guess when the time arose where they were like, hey, we can bring 12-ounce mouse back, I think he had a lot more ideas than what he did. Because even the fact that they threw out the web show. Although, spoiler alert, in that last episode, I'm wondering if that was Heavenly that we saw.
I still gotta watch the new episodes personally.
Yes, sorry.
No, that's fine. I don't care. I'll forget every spoiler. I'm very forgetful.
Spoiler alert! It involved a monkey. I'm kidding. But the panel, which I just posted in the Twitch stream, really good information. I mean, nothing new because, and this is the thing with some of the Comic-Con panels where, like, either they're in the midst of showing their shows or they don't have anything to show, where it's like them just shooting the breeze, and the moderator, in this case Max Simonette, this guy in the middle, he voices the Pineapples, but I guess he's a Adult Swim stream guy. Jason, do you know? Or maybe someone else knows, but apparently I think he's an Adult Swim stream guy and got involved with 12-ounce mouse, but he voices the Pineapples. And
wait, Pineapples from what?
From 12-ounce mouse.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that. We haven't been watching 12-ounce mouse. We go to bed at 9.
Right.
So
because you're Meemaw now.
I'm Meemaw.
But not that Meemaw. But he was the moderator, and he had all the guests. I'm pointing the mouse, assuming that people can see my mouse on the screen, but no, they can't. Yeah, he moderated the panel, and it was pretty standard panel interviews about, what's going on in the show. They showed a couple of clips that have already been in the episodes, and not a whole lot of information, but I thought it was entertaining. The one thing that... I'm sorry?
Oh, I was going to say, this actually brings up something I kind of wanted to get everybody's opinions on, if we've got room for it. Which was, what did you think of the overall format of the panels? Like, essentially watching it the way that we've been watching it, being able to go back and review it and, kind of take it in at your leisure, at your time. Did this work, and was it able to accomplish what they were hoping it would?
See, okay, you go first.
No, go ahead.
Well, mine's going to be long and boring, so.
I was just going to say, like, for me, going to a physical convention is, I mean, obviously you can't do it right now, but, like, being at a physical convention and going to panels, I love doing that, but it being just sort of streaming and I can go do it on demand whenever I want, it made it very easy to just never get around to watching any of it. Because I forget, or I'm watching something else, or I have work, or there's something like if I'm at an actual con, I'm all for work. So like I'm forgetting a lot of this stuff that it's even happening, you know?
One of the things that I thought would be most appealing about this format was that you didn't have to choose what you were going to see the same way that you would if you were live at a convention. You know, you can make it to all of them at some point.
Yeah, I think for me, I do agree that, okay, you know, they said specifically, you know, you can catch this panel at this time, but it was still available online. At the same time, it was kind of like, I don't know. It was kind of split because there was Comic-Con at home, which was like on point and was like, okay, well,
it was actual Comic-Con, kind of.
Yeah, it was actual Comic-Con International where it was like, okay, we're gonna have X panel at Y time on YouTube, and then Adult Swim was kind of like, okay, well, we're gonna have the Rick and Morty panel on Twitch, and we're gonna have the Showdown on AdultSwim.com, and we're gonna have this on YouTube, and they were kind of all over the place. And I did notice last night someone in the Reddit group posted a Survey Monkey that came from the Adult Swim Twitch people who were like, hey, did you watch our Twitch? Which, you know, or did you watch a stream? And what did you watch? And, you know, did you know, are you familiar with our sponsors? And do you want to see us do more stuff on Twitch? And I'm like, personally, if you were going to do this anywhere, I mean, I get that you have a website where you do that stuff. So either do it there or do it on Twitch. Or you know what? People do streams where it's everywhere. They do streams where it's like streamed on Twitch and YouTube and like 50 other programs at the same time.
Yeah.
And okay, I give up. Trish?
Yes.
Everyone in the Twitch is complaining that they can hear your drink making.
I know, but I did a really good one and then it exploded.
Please mute your mic.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get in the spirit of the holiday.
Okay.
Because one of my day jobs is as a DJ. We got 2 DJs in the chat box with us. Shout out to Trish and Shatta. And like somebody's making that drink strong. That's a double take.
I'm like, I don't want to point it out because it's just going to derail me seriously, but I have to at this point. Which, you know what, whatever.
People have spoken.
So where was I? Please, someone help me.
Well, I think you were discussing like multiple streams and multiple platforms for streaming, and
Okay, yes, thank you.
To
I think that's.
See, I was listening.
Thank you. I'm glad someone was. No one listens to me. But yeah, just to sum it up and not ramble on anymore in a drunken rant. Yeah, they should have either done a multi-stream or said, "Hey, guys, we have our own AdultSwim.com. You can watch it on, you know, a Roku app, unlike HBO Max, and you know, we're streaming it here, but we're also streaming it on Twitch, and we're streaming it on Facebook Live, and we're streaming it here and there and everywhere, and that way, people could make their own assessment of, you know, where they were going to watch it,
and which worked best for them,
right." Yeah. And then they could come out with a survey and say, well, where did you watch us? And how did you enjoy the panels? And which panels were your favorite? And do you like the virtual concept? But I don't know. That
was one of the hardest parts about this for me, was trying to navigate through where they had these to find the stuff I was interested in watching.
Well, that's
because they had like 90 different panels. Like, there were, 92, 93 videos on one of the days?
Yes.
That's impressive.
It was every panel, yeah.
And at least...
Can I just point out... I'm sorry.
What?
Well, I heard you mention HBO Max, and it just really pisses me off that they're like switching to that format, because it's like, what about the Adult Swim app and like all the other fucking like Hulu and Netflix and all that? Why does it need to go to HBO, which is just another thing I have to pay for?
Well, that's another story for maybe later on, or
I actually don't know
about that too.
Answer. I'd love to hear it.
yeah. I mean, we can, if we have time, we can talk about it. Otherwise, we'll have to come back.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned the whole like 90 different panels, whatever, on YouTube, some on Twitch, some on the website, all over the place. I mean, that's kind of what differentiates this event from a Comic-Con, where we know everyone's going to be in San Diego, we know everyone's going to be there all en masse, and we know that there's going to be a lineup of panels. And what happens here is like, what's going on? When is it going on? It doesn't feel like an event. It feels like a sporadic. It feels like YouTube content that people are just throwing here and there and everywhere. Like, I didn't know there was a Bill and Ted panel today until right now. I'm like, oh, that's great.
There was a Bill and Ted panel?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Fuck.
It's like a sweet.
One of the panels that I thought.
Quick shout out to one of our co-hosts, Calamitous Jane. She actually just won Keanu Reeves, like, one of his prop mustaches from the film.
Oh, wow.
What?
That's sick.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
She sent me some pictures of it. It's pretty legit.
That's nice.
One of my favorite panels that I got to catch up on was the adult animators panel with, it had damn near everybody on it. And it was kind of, it had Robot Chicken and Black Dynamite and Jenny Tartakovsky. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't really feel that was a panel. It felt more like a featurette on a DVD.
And that's pretty much what it was, because it was all these little questions. They'd ask the questions and then had them send in their answers. And then they just edited it together so that it would kind of function as a panel. But one of my favorite parts about that was, what do you think? What do you miss about it being live, and what don't you miss? And everybody had the exact same comment about what they didn't miss, which was
it the smell?
The crowds and the smell. And trying to smell. Yeah, trying to explain shows in spandex.
God.
It was pretty special. I play at cons.
I mean,
you ever been in a football locker room? That's kind of what it's like.
I've only been to one convention, and it was like the sweatiest, most crowded, most hellacious place I've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
I check out Cafe Risque on I-95.
Crazy.
Well, to bring up one of the legends in Adult Swim, Mr. John Schnepp, rest in peace. That's where he coined the phrase "sweaty nerds."
Right.
There's
if you ever see a Magic the Gathering tournament at a con, just don't.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
There's about to be butt cracks.
I'd always heard the phrase "the great unwashed." It hadn't occurred to me that there would be the great overdressed unwashed.
God.
See, like every year I go to for the past 10 years, I've gone to 3 or 4 conventions a year, just to because I went with friends and stuff like that. There's only one convention that I've been going to every single year that doesn't have any stink at all.
Home?
No, I want to get shout out to fucking FlameCon in New York City.
Is that the one in Queens?
No, well, it used to be in Brooklyn, and then they moved into the Sheraton in Times Square.
Oh,
it's an LGBT centered comic convention, and I swear the people there never stink.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's a fantastic con too.
Interesting.
The couple few that I've gone to in Portland haven't been too bad either. I think it's a lot to do with the climate, but that could help.
Oh, Anime Next in Atlantic City also hasn't been terrible, but that's just because everybody's at hotels right there, and I guess they all have more incentive to shower because they got to stay right there anyway.
All the cons I've been to in NC have been outstanding. I haven't found any stinky NC cons. I'm sure they exist. It just has not been my experience.
It sounds like
You've avoided them.
something that would exist because it's sweaty there.
Oh, it's hot.
The video game swap meets that I've been to, that's a different story. Boy.
I will say, like, this year the home con has smelled amazing, like, because I was making bacon.
The Febreze really hit.
Mine smelled like Boylan's Diet Root Beer.
Wow.
So just getting it back to the HBO panel, the takeaway I had, I mean, I appreciate social awkwardness because I have it despite, I know that I don't have it right now or seem to, but I am like the complete opposite. But what was the deal with the Laser Wolf guy and his Swamp Thing cosplay?
I thought that was brilliant.
That was great. What are you talking about?
I think if you're gonna do something, you should have put on a mask or something like MF Doom style.
No.
Maybe he didn't know it was in the shot. Nobody told him.
Just got photobombed by the houseplant.
It later slapped. It later slapped.
Isn't his last name like Bonsol or something? And I kept wondering why he didn't have a bonsai instead.
Bonesaw is ready. Oh God!
I loved his insight, and actually, the reason I thought he might be doing it is because in some of the earlier panels too, with like Seinreich and Seth Green, they were talking about how hard it was to go to the bathroom by yourself at these conventions, and I wondered if this wasn't his solution. If nobody knows what his face looks like, if they're like, "Oh, it's a houseplant. That must be him."
That's a valid point. That's a very valid point.
So cosplay idea, right?
Yeah,
cosplay.
A houseplant. So yeah,
plant.
Houseplant.
I'm going as one of the ferns from Between Two Ferns.
I would have gone as a ficus from American Pie.
No,
pretty sure that's Fern Gully.
It's a good group cosplay idea. Two ferns and a Zach Galifianakis.
Just a beard guy. So just to wrap up the Osmo stuff, the thing that I appreciated about the thing I appreciated about the panel was when they started showing screenshots of Adobe Premiere Pro, and I'm like, that video that I posted at the beginning of the show, that was like, oh, I can't, my mouse isn't going to show up, but like, figure the line for, like, let me see if I could stretch it out. Nope, can't stretch it out. The line for like the audio and the video are like the first two lines in the middle and then nothing else. This is like super complex.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone else has dabbled in Premiere Pro.
Oh yeah.
But that was my that was one of my takeaways besides, all the information that they had.
It looks more like a music production than a video production. My God.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
That's what professionalism looks like.
It looks like a fucking battleship.
Yep.
God.
Right? Like the SDF.
All right, so we'll wrapping up the 12-ounce mouse panel. It was pretty good information, and they're doing their season now, so not too much new they could share with us. The Rick and Morty panel, on the other hand,
that was really good.
I skimmed it because I just noticed, like, we were keeping an eye out between things where
all the other goings-ons.
Yeah. So I didn't see it.
It was a good like group of people talking about the shit that they work on. It was nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was puzzled as to why Justin Roiland wasn't part of it, but I guess
I was just gonna say that too, because he's such a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, he is Rick and Morty. But, I mean, I guess
he was busy,
and I know he did the Solar Opposites panel for San Diego Comic-Con.
But a lot of that was pre-recorded. So was it? I don't know.
Well, was some of it live and we didn't know it?
I think it's because we tried having him on the Swimcast once, and the response I got was, "Oh, he doesn't do interviews during the day." So maybe it was daytime when they did the interview, and he couldn't do it.
He's a vampire.
We could do an interview in the evening. I don't know why.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Maybe they did it in that. I'm crossing my wires because of the shot I took earlier. No, he can't.
You can't keep blaming the shot.
He can't. Yeah, I can. Watch me.
It was hours ago.
Watch me.
It was an hour ago, dude.
Watch me watch that. No. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I was getting my wires crossed, and he can't do them. He can only do interviews during the day. He can't do them at night.
Maybe
that's a family.
Yeah.
No, if you can't do the interview at night, that's a werewolf thing.
Yes.
Yep. Or a vampire thing.
You've heard it here first, courtesy of all the podcasts on the interwebs.
I can't do it tonight. It's a full moon.
I can't do it tonight. I'm doing House of Cosby. I'm a werewolf.
Justin Werewolf.
I can't do it tomorrow night because I've got a lot of cleanup.
Justin Roiland is a werewolf. That's what we've learned today.
Yep.
That's the big takeaway.
Yeah.
It's canon. It's canon. Yeah.
It's canon now. It's not just fanon. It's canon.
Now, obviously we have two Rick and Morty experts on the feed with us, and
So
I'm really
yes. The experts.
Yes, that's that's us. Yeah, I don't know. It's always throwing me off. It always throws me off when Roiland decides not to show up to those things. But I guess him and Chris Parnell are fighting for who is less interested in being there.
but Parnell was there. So
yeah, but was he interested in being there?
Parnell showed up.
Yeah, so Roiland's winning.
With Parnell, he just seems like he doesn't ever want to be interviewed. He has like nothing to say. He just seems like he'd rather be at home reading.
We like to call him the Harrison Ford of animation.
That fits.
Yeah.
I mean, he seemed like he was on fire during the Archer panel. So I don't know. Maybe it's who he surrounds himself with.
It could
C.S. Lewis.
People coming up and screaming, "I'm Pickle Rick."
He's sick of being called a Jerry.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Oh God.
Or a Cyril.
Yeah, I prefer him as Peabody from Peabody and Sherman. That's my preferred Chris Parnell voice.
Yeah. He was Dr. Spitchemin on 30 Rock.
Dr. Spaceman.
Dr. Spaceman.
Dr. Space.
And like when they did the live episodes, like their ads for that were great. Like, I am Nazi doctor. No, I want them to know Leo Spitchemin.
Oh God. What was I had a thought and I lost it. That tends to happen. I'm not going to blame it on the rum.
Was it about Justin Roiland not showing?
Yes, thank you. Maybe it's like a John Krasinski thing where he can't show up to panels for his own work, because that happened twice at New York Comic Con where it was like, oh, Dreamcore LLC produced by John Krasinski. So are we interviewing him? No, he's not here, but he'll show up for the panel. And then the Jack Ryan show, I think the first year it premiered, like they had, I can go into a tangent on this, but there was like a whole clusterfuck of issues with Amazon's PR.
Oh shit! Is that why he wasn't at the some good news panel this year?
Probably.
Sorry, that's a Krasinski dig. Yeah, you know, why Roiland isn't there? You know, we can only.
He's a werewolf.
I'm saying
it out. He's a werewolf.
Watch. You know what? This is gonna get back into like the internet, like the people who are either the people who are listening or like somewhere like afterwards are gonna be like, oh my God, I heard he was a werewolf. It's gonna be like
somebody needs to update the Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's Roiland versus John Glazer for the ultimate battle.
Or like alternate theory, like B. Maybe he's like the Daniel Day-Lewis of adult animation. So when he's in a thing, like he's in character for like 18 hours a day.
My character doesn't podcast. My character doesn't do panels.
He's Blade. He's Blade.
Like when he's doing voice work for Rick and Morty, like he's just literally like isolating himself in his house because everything is like, you know, just fucking Rick everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Doing solar opposites and pretending to be an alien, you know, the whole time.
Right. Speaking of Blade, what did you guys think about the teaser?
Oh my God.
There was a Blade teaser?
Yeah, that was really intense.
Welcome to Comic-Con at home.
We were Blades? I didn't know we were Blades.
I didn't know we were Blades. So cool.
Yeah.
We are all Blades.
Mr. Nimbus.
Yeah, that whole section, like it was, when I got the chance to kind of sit down and see it, it was like a revelation. It just got me even more I got so juiced for the new season and so pissed that it stopped. Right? I mean, it was literally just the tip moment, and my eyes and ears were desperate for more.
Still got blue balls.
Yeah, I definitely. It was exciting to see an animatic this close to the finale of the last season. We're used to waiting 2 years or so for any new Rick and Morty stuff. So the fact that they've completely finished writing season 5, except for some edits, they're already on to writing season 6.
Are you just rubbing it in now?
Yeah.
Our show isn't like your show anymore. Our show doesn't come out every other year like yours does now.
God,
you gotta get that 70 episode contract.
That was
not our fault.
That was my thing the last couple of years. It's like, okay, Venture isn't on, so that means Rick and Morty's on. So if Rick and Morty's not on, that means
they were alternating for a while. It was
Venture's 3 years away.
They're the same cartoon. That's why you can't see them at the same place at the same time.
Doc and Jackson are werewolves.
Oh my God!
No, Doc's a vampire. I think
You know what it is?
Yes. If
You know what it is?
shout out to
Everyone at Adult Swim is just in a
They're all-
pack of werewolves. Who is the alpha? It's probably Justin Roiland.
That would be
It was Mike Lazo, but Justin Roiland wrangled him to the ground.
That's why it's been like.
Hey y'all,
really
I'm a werewolf. You're not a werewolf. That's
that
my
was
Justin
really
Roiland.
good Lazo, though.
Well done. Well, my old impression was, "Hi, I'm Michael Lazo."
Good God.
I don't care. What's he gonna do? Werewolf me to death?
He has no power at Adult Swim anymore. He's fine. It's fine.
You have no power.
There can be only one, and it's Keith Croft.
Somebody said they just updated his wiki that he's now speculated to be a vampire.
Or a werewolf. Or a werewolf vampire.
And okay, if we want to make it sound like really official, we'll say like lycanthrope.
Right.
That's vernacular correct.
By the way,
how do you write terms?
By the way, since we're on the subject of Lazo and going back to the whole Bushworld thing, he wanted a whole Bushworld Adventures show.
Oh God, no.
No, this short was fine. Go on to YOLO.
I'll take it.
But they wouldn't give us like the Dog Planet pitch from Rick and Morty?
Yeah. They won't give us Dog Planet, but they'll give us Bushworld.
I would watch the hell out of Lawnmower Dog.
Right? Same. I want 6 seasons in a movie. Minimum. Minimum.
Oh, God.
Don't get me started on Community. Don't even do it.
Anyway, should we wrap up Rick and Morty and we'll move on to the next one?
I got to tell you, I don't feel like I've heard enough from our resident experts about what they kind of see come down the pipeline.
Well, the thing is once we got into like the whole vampire werewolf thing, I'm like, well, who gives a shit about Rick and Morty anymore?
Cryptids at Adult Swim.
What have I done?
Let's talk about the Universal classic horror movie monster universe coming back. Like, come on, Tom Cruise, he fought the Mummy.
Now he is the Mummy.
So Tom Cruise is the Mummy.
So Justin Roiland is Tom Cruise.
Justin Roiland is Tom Cruise, confirmed.
Hey, I'm John Cruise. I do stuff and I'm action and stuff like that.
I mean, we're on the street. Word on the street is there's going to be an Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein remake. It's on the way.
I thought for a second there, I thought you were going to say Abbott and Costello meet Justin Roiland.
Right,
I mean, I pay money to see that.
Actually, that works.
Well, quick question for Rick and Morty guys. So, the Mulan live-action movie has actually been pushed back. How sad are you for the delay of the sauce?
Oh, yeah.
Not missing it at all.
Get that McDonald's tie-in.
Here we
God.
go. Here we go.
They just jumped from meme to meme.
Yes.
Like it went from all of a sudden it was Szechuan, and then immediately Pickle Rick.
I gotta say that sauce was terrible.
I liked
not
it.
great.
I never had it.
Really good. It was super good.
I got a
like
chance to
soy
try it when
sauce
they did it for a minute, and it was
sweet.
like ketchup and soy sauce.
It would be really
didn't
great
like
on a salmon, like a baked salmon,
maybe
like a glaze. Just
Maybe it would work really great as like a teriyaki type thing.
I love that you're trying to rationalize how the Szechuan can make sense. No, you did baked Alaska. Like
it's all about the wine pairing. If you pick the right wine, the sauce is great.
Rosé.
Well, we've all seen Kingsman, right? Like, you can have high-class McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
How do you get high-class McDonald's?
I've had a Big Mac in Europe.
Football players.
Oh God!
I think
we have reached a tangent. Are we?
Szechuan sauce sucks.
Should we? I mean, we're gonna revisit Rick and Morty topics later, I'm sure.
No doubt.
No, well, I have thoughts about the showdown
battle.
Uh-oh.
It was rigged.
What?
I'm interested in seeing how this is going to play out because you guys. Some of you I am just now meeting for the first time. There's no doubt in my mind that the bevy of opinions we are going to get out of this is going to be half the remainder of the show.
Oh God. Well,
I've got a table set up for flipping in the back.
You're ready?
Oh, God. All right, but we will revisit that in a little bit. Our last panel, I guess, unless we come up with other panels. Robot Chicken did a panel.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, I didn't watch the Robot Chicken panel. So
I don't think did anyone watch the Robot Chicken panel?
I caught most of it.
You know what?
I'm gonna split though. It was wonderful being on with you guys and getting drunk and making martinis that were perfect, and then I dropped it in the sink, and then I had to make another one.
And then Twitch heard you dropping it in the sink.
And screaming, I'm sure.
It's been a roller coaster.
It is. It's my life. It's my fucking life. I'm just gonna later on. But it was great talking with you guys, and good break a leg for the rest of the night. Love you all so much.
Trish.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Trish. Bye, Trish. Part vodka.
Oh. All right. So, as far as Robot Chicken. So, what did we learn from Robot Chicken? Anything?
They've got a big 200th episode.
We knew that already.
It's gonna have Sam Elliott in it. We learned that.
He's been on the show, so I'm failing to real. You know
Has
what?
Has Sam Elliott been on the show?
I
though?
think he was. I think he was on. I think he was on an Emmy-nominated episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my God! Really?
Years ago.
If there's a mustache you could get, it's the Sam Elliott mustache. That's the one you want.
Right?
Keanu Reeves is like small potatoes on like the mustache tier.
Jane needs to get on that Sam Elliott game.
Yeah. See, I didn't
have a mustache collection.
Start a mustache collection. You heard it here first. The official Helper mustache collection.
She's gonna set it up like arcades. You can go in and take the ride, and she'll offer mustache rides to anybody passing by.
It'll be like Planet Hollywood, but just mustaches.
That's a good pitch for a Robot Chicken episode. Listen, I have nothing. I'm sorry.
Would it be Planet Mustache or Mustache Hollywood? Which one would it be?
Oh, I think you would have to call it Planet Stashwood.
That wins. That wins this stream's showdown.
So yeah, so Robot Chicken wins.
No, Planet Stashwood wins.
So yeah, I guess Robot Chicken had a panel. I didn't really watch it. Yeah. I was surprised with how many people were kind of like Robot Chicken, meh.
It's because I think people forget that it's still on.
I think it kind of like it kind of reminds me of the if anyone remembers, I'm an old man, but the SNL skit where they're like I think it was a Robert Smigel animation where they were showing like John Lovitz, that's the ticket, and it was him like progressing like from the 80s until like the mid 90s, and then like Church Lady showed up. So I'm equating it to like Robot Chicken was here and they were the big show and they got Emmys and all kinds of notoriety and the kids loved them, and then Rick and Morty came along.
Well, yeah, The Simpsons, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of exists. It keeps shambling along.
It's like for a long time. I mean, Aqua Teen was like that too for a long time. I was like, oh, there's still new Aqua Teen.
Would it
be canceled?
Well, I mean, would it be fair to assert that like Robot Chicken has kind of hit that same tier of like pop culture presence as South Park, where like they're just off doing their thing, and you can always kind of pop back in, and like it's always going to be great.
And to what you just,
it's great though, but I wouldn't go so far as it's hit that sort of South Park-esque like pedestal.
I don't think it's at that level. Yeah.
Said about a classic is anything that people talk about but don't read, and has Aqua Teen, Hunger Force, or some of these other shows, Robot Chicken, hit that spot where it's a classic because everyone talks about it and respects it, but no one watches it anymore.
And
I know kids who have never seen like Robot Chicken but talk about it. They talk about it because of Family Guy references to it.
Jeez. It's one that I would not. It's one that I would not turn off though. If I was surfing and it was on, like it's definitely one I'm not switching past. Like it's not one that I seek out anymore though. That's.
No, I totally catch it on streams and stuff occasionally.
Oh yeah,
HBO Max.
The thing about Robot Chicken for me, like it's great, and I loved watching it when it first came on. But it's one of those things where I expect this to happen with us and Rick and Morty. Like 70 when they announced 70 episodes, I was like, as podcasters, I told Travis, I'm like, oh god, we're gonna be on this for that many episodes, right? There's a certain threshold where you reach where you're like, I like it, I still love the show, I have good memories with it, but I'm kind of ready to move on now. So I think that's how I feel about Robot Chicken.
And that is how I felt about Aqua Teen after a while. Not so much the part where it's like, oh, it's still on, but more like, well, the show is still good, it's still funny, but if they turned around and canceled it tomorrow, I probably would be content. And that's exactly what happened. And then I ended up writing that love letter to Aqua Teen on Agents of Geek back when Adult Swim Central was, well, it's still parked over there. But, and I know a lot of people have told me they are really inspired by it, which I don't write that great. But I'm blanking on the point I was, but yeah, I was, I get it. Robot Chicken now I feel like it's in that phase, especially the fact that they've surpassed episodes, now that they're doing 200, and maybe, I forget who mentioned it earlier, but like, being Rick and Morty being contractually obligated to 70 kajillion episodes, maybe it's a thing like that where Robot Chicken is just contractually obligated, and it's like, please kill us now.
And we just don't know it. They didn't make it a public announcement. like they did with Richard.
The other thing, though, that they could be dealing with is just the simple fact. I mean, as Venture Brother fans, we know it can take a long time for something to get made when there aren't necessarily a lot of cooks in that kitchen. And then you look at Robot Chicken, and you're like, this is one of the most difficult forms of media to try and capture stop motion.
Yeah,
so it could be the factor in Adult Swim in general suffers from this because of the giant gaps between seasons on most of the given shows. People forget the amount of shows I haven't caught because I've tuned out of Adult Swim for a moment because my 2 or 3 shows all went off air or something. I feel like almost every amount of seasons because, like, I mean, with Venture Brothers, we're going into season 8 on year 17 or something like that now. Like, that's a lot of gap years going on. And just with any show that makes that kind of a run that has those kind of gaps, you're going to lose people eventually.
My son Brock is 19 now. And, I mean, the show is just, it's lost its attention already. I mean, it's...
So wait, you had... Wait.
Yeah. One of the things I was really interested in kind of getting you guys' opinions on, I feel like Venture Brothers in particular is one of the very few shows that consistently gets better every year.
Oh,
that they
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, she isn't suggesting that it wasn't amazing and fun at the beginning, but they're just crushing it more and more every single season. And I haven't caught up to like a Robot Chicken episode recently. Those of you who are watching it, where would you say the level of quality is at? Because stuff like The Simpsons, my kids are getting into The Simpsons now, and the new Simpsons episodes do not slap the same way. But, like, I'm kind of looking at, these other shows that have been on for a hot minute. Are there any that you feel are surpassing the level of quality that they'd had previously?
South Park. That's the only one I would say that still slaps hard.
Really, really... I mean, I dropped out of South Park for a while in my mid-teens.
I feel like
Archer for so long you have to. Like, I don't know anyone.
It hit a slump, and I think I'm really glad that Archer's out of the coma. Spoiler. And we're going back to just not weird dream stuff. Because
I love the weird dream shit. It was so good.
Those seasons, those were the seasons I can watch these maybe once and then be done with them.
See, the best part about the whole dream stuff is what Pam's iteration is every time.
But I enjoy Pam in any iteration. So
this isn't strictly Adult Swim, and it's done now. But BoJack Horseman, I say, got better and better.
That show was amazing.
Really,
every season that show got better. Yeah,
and I feel bad for how that Netflix kind of did them dirty.
My thing with
I was just gonna say that's a Netflix move. You can't get more than like 5-6 seasons out of Netflix, period, and then they kill you no matter what. They just don't like. Is anything been on Netflix for 10 seasons yet? They've been around long enough to have a show with 10 seasons. It hasn't happened.
Definitely not.
They don't allow it.
I mean,
I was gonna say, would they have tried it with House of Cards if what's his face hadn't gone?
Hadn't been the worst person ever. Yeah,
maybe. I mean, I'm content with how BoJack ended personally.
Yeah, I'm too. I got really emotional. The thing about BoJack is it made me feel stuff that cartoons rarely make me feel. Like a couple Futurama episodes made me feel like that. Dog episode.
God, see more butts.
And the 4-leaf clover episode. Those two.
See, that's the one. That's the one that always gets me way more than the Seymour one personally.
Yeah, Jurassic
the Clover
Park.
one. Ugh.
Jurassic Park.
No.
Clover one.
Look at the Fryrish.
It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You have to say the whole thing. Seymour Butts.
Now, do you think like a kind of a reinvention or new kind of series would work for him too? Like I think back to like the guys behind Xavier and how they turned that into the chilling.
Oh, that was like a dream I had.
like a fever dream.
A recurring fever dream. I was just like, this needs to stop.
And then you remember, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that was."
Xavier kicks ass. Xavier was amazing.
Great, but I sometimes forget that it was like a real thing and not just something my mind came up with.
I'm a big fan of PFR like in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like before Xavier, fucking my introduction to them was Wonder Shows and
oh yeah,
boy, what a masterpiece of a
PFR's done some great stuff. I mean, Harchie Holler, Delocated.
Their old music is hilarious too.
Was them?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, so do we take Stupid Buddy and just put him towards something else? Because what was the robot?
Oh my god, Titan Maximum was freaking amazing.
That was a great show, and it should have continued.
Let's transition from Robot Chicken into the next thing, because I mean they've got the skill and everything, and like we said, this is kind of old on the vine. So
I was so annoyed at that, and I think I said on either Swimcast or on Central when I posted something that like I was like, watch, they're gonna give it one season, they're gonna cancel it, and sure enough, it was like, and the story was just amazing.
That's a great show.
Yeah, we also maybe had that's the trick. Star Wars show too that got canned when Disney bought Lucas.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Robot Chicken Star Wars specials, because those are pretty good.
Those are good, but they had like a whole actual Star Wars thing.
Yeah,
and I think Jackson Public actually worked on it too, and then it got shelved.
I remember that whole thing, and that sounded really interesting. And then
it sounded it was going to be like the Lower Decks, the Star Trek show, but Star Wars. It was Robot Chicken, but Star Wars, but not Robot Chicken.
Huh.
Like,
yeah.
Now, next year being 2021, how excited is everybody to go through and rewatch C-Lab?
Ooh,
boy. Don't already do that at least once a year. Come on, man. Who you take me for?
It's time.
It
is time. Dig out the DVD sets.
I'm helping.
They just got to make sure they stay a year ahead.
Oh,
jeez.
Rob, help. My stanza.
No, wrong show.
Oops.
Wrong show.
Well,
I'm forgetting the guy's name. What was the actor? He was on Chips. What was the older actor's name?
Eric Estrada.
My wife actually helped him down at her job about 2 months ago and said he was the nicest, sweetest guy, and came back in like 2 or 3 days in a row. And I was like, okay, no, now I definitely want to go back and rewatch everything, because there's always just something to like finding out someone's genuinely a nice person.
I wonder if that's a result of George Lopez beating it into him, because George Lopez has the thing where he says this. He tells a story about how he went to meet Eric Estrada, and Eric Estrada was like the biggest dick. And George Lopez's whole thing.
Someone on one bad day, and it ruins it.
And then George Lopez said he vowed since then, every time he sees Eric Estrada, to make his life like a living hell.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Imagine having that burden. The burden of angry George Lopez.
It makes sense that he was a dick for so long. You know, John upstaged him just constantly on Chips.
Actually, be called Chipes. Really?
The acronym.
Chipes.
That's a heck of an arch, though. Like, I gotta give George Lopez credit there. Like, that is some serious.
He's gotta constantly be looking over his shoulder.
Dude, I imagine like George Lopez rolling out of bed, like, I'm giving Eric Estrada shit today. Let's go.
Let's see what kind of dumb shit he put on Twitter today.
Yeah, let's go. And Lowrider plays in the background.
Oh God. Okay,
my heart is lower than my moral standards.
By the way, one thing, because we mentioned Stupid Buddy and them doing other things. I just went to go see if they've been working on anything else. They're working with Ubisoft on a Rabbids movie.
Huh.
Oh, fucking course they are. I hate the Rabbids so much.
Oh, but they sell.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be anything like the Assassin's Creed movie, you have nothing to worry about.
if it's a Mario versus Rabbids game or a movie, then I'm in.
I was going to say Mario vs. Rabbids was great.
I don't know.
As long as it's a sequel to the original Super Mario's, I'm game then.
No.
They've got that Crossing Swords on Hulu as well. They show.
Oh yeah, Crossing Swords.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
They're getting on it.
Yes.
They also worked on Camp WWE, which was
a
thing that happened.
That was a thing. I never watched it. They've done things and stuff. That's
Yeah, no, for sure. So good on them.
This has been an Adult Swim Central production.
ACPN.